Uh, Hi, I'm President Robin Brown of the Republic of Aireland. We are a rather small micronation based in the southeast of Essex. That's where our capital, St. Patrick, is. However, we have overseas territory on the island of Ireland. We are a country of about 43 people and a unitary democracy. Our foundation date was the 7th of October 2018. So other than foundation day, we had our first republic. So we were a monarchy all the way up until the first republic was formed on the 15th of June 2020. But other than that, there was President's Day on the 11th of January 2019, which was the first ever President's Day, and it was a massive parade that was held down the main stretch, the main road in the country. I think our main goals as a micronation is to expand, obviously, and to gain international recognition from at least some of the larger countries, and hopefully just gain more autonomy than claiming land and a claim to being independent and gain recognized independence. I think we are a leading member in the European Micronations Union, or the EUEMU, which we co-founded alongside another nation, and it's now up to about 8 members. And our short-term goals are to make our countries greener, more eco-friendly, and to also expand the union. And we're looking to bring in taxes on stuff like energy drinks and cut down on unhealthy living. So the EMU is a democratically elected group of nations, rather like the EU, but for micronations, obviously, hence the European Micronations Union. It's a very democratic system. Everything that goes through has to be voted on by every single member, and it has to reach, I think it was 70% of the vote has to go in favour one way or the other for it to go through. Otherwise, it will just come down. And okay, so the EMU it helps raise more awareness for the environment and stuff inside all of our countries. It helps bring free trade between all of our countries by creating the trade union, and it helps try and unite us under a single currency, although some countries haven't adopted, us being one of them. However, we still recognise them as legal tender, even though they're not our main currencies. So it's really working on a different way of trying to connect all of the countries and bring them closer together and try and create a bigger overall GDP between all of us.
I believe that micronational war can be a thing, and you don't necessarily have to border each other to do it, because let's look at the way that, just for an example, Russia and the Soviet Union and America did the Cold War. They don't border each other in any place, and yeah, of course they're bigger nations, but at the same time they still had people spying on each other. And I think with the power of social media, that is incredibly likely to happen, in micronations. So I think it is well founded if there's a real reason. But if it's just, oh, I'll send 6 battleships, he says, but that's just role play at that point, I think. And it's a very thin line between actual warfare and role playing. We have what's called a 10-year plan. So for the president, when the president is elected in, they go the first 4 years of their term, and they have to reach 80% of all of the quotas which are set by the National Congress. So they do their campaign. They take 10 promises, and they have to complete at least 8 of them which are beneficial to the country, to stay in for the remaining 6 years of their 10-year term. So as part of my promises, I've promised to reduce our carbon emissions by 50% by the end of 2020, which is fast encroaching on me at the moment, and we are well on our way to do that. We're predicted to have half done by November time, so that should be really good, and I'm looking forward to seeing how that pans out. Economically, we've reformed our currency. That's part of a 5-stage reformation plan to stop ourselves using foreign banknotes and depending more on ourselves and valuing our currency higher. We are also looking at emissions on vehicles and stuff like that enter the country, and we're looking at monitoring emission levels and setting up a fee for those who wish to come through the country with a vehicle which is not very efficient and quite dangerous to the environment. I think that's a really good question.
I think I saw a video on YouTube, and I think everybody probably says this, but it was the Republic of Molossia that really set off in my mind. You know, okay, well, at first I thought, wow, this is some crazy guy, but and then I sort of thought, well, you know what? I'm bored witless. I've got nothing to do. I'll give it a go. And so obviously on the 7th of October 2018, I founded what was then known as the Free People's State of Wakering. And actually, I found out I really enjoyed it, and it really was a part of my life that, you know, I just sort of thought, okay, well, you know, I'll continue this. I'll take it more seriously. And eventually over time, we evolved to claiming more land. And yeah, it was quite interesting to hear, you know, all these videos on YouTube and just to watch them and see just the sheer extent of micronationalism. And to think now that we've got 418 followers at the time of recording this on Instagram, I didn't realize that many people genuinely, you know, cared about micronationalism. And actually, I think it's a great thing. And I think it's more than just an expression of choice or an expression of independence. It is independence at its finest. It's self-governance. So it's really nice to see that.